All right, I do think this will do pretty decent in the box office, but I'm curious on what the users and audience is going to think coming out of this film. What I really thought about this film is the horse CGI wasn't good. Chase Lee Hockey here with the Blue Futon, reviewing Hara Veera Mallu Part 1, Sword versus Spirit. Okay, the Sword versus Spirit, is that really needed? It's a long title anyway. So what's about? Pretty simple premise. I mean, the main guy is Vera. I said that wrong, right? I said Vara. It's Vera. And he was kind of on a basket going down the river, and he kind of gets stuck at a temple, and they realize, wait a minute, there's something good about this person. And then years later, because this is in the 1970, or sorry, not 1670s-ish, 1650s storyline. But now he's a thief, and he's stealing diamonds, and he's kind of like a Robin Hood, right? Where he's not keeping the riches for himself, he's giving it to other people. However, he's stealing from this person, and this person to this person to finally figure out what his final goal is, and that is told at the very end of the film. But getting there, you have kind of a band of misfits. You have a quote-unquote love interest. Then you also have a religion-esque element aspect to this movie as well. Also, some really not good CGI, especially with the horses, some fire, and just overall choppiness of this movie. So as you can tell, I wasn't the biggest fan of this movie just because all those elements combined really did hinder my movie watching experience. So I think the biggest positive of this movie is the story and the religious aspect of it, of how, we're in India right now, and the Islam/Muslims are trying to take over and basically say, if you don't convert to Islam, we will kill you. We will chop your head off. And I found that very fascinating because I watched a YouTube video like not even a couple days ago where this lady was saying, we're at a point where if you don't convert to Islam, they will, not think highly of other people, and that's what they're kind of doing right now. So having this movie have that element and have that storyline and having it based in the 1600s really resonates to today of what we are seeing in today's day and age of like what is happening in the world and how religion and what people are actually perceiving it to be, because it's a huge issue in Europe right now, and even in America, where you have all these different, what could be the New York mayor, what could be the Minneapolis mayor, and we have things like that where we really have to look into of the underlying message of what people are saying. Because also, there are also people in Islam culture basically saying, we will outbreed you, basically. And you're like, okay, let's time out a little bit. But having that story element of religion really did, enhance the movie making experience. There were some decent fight sequences. I'll give it that, of what it was trying to do. But then the choppy editing and the decision choices of make the action sequences either like fast forward, slow motion, or have a weird like motion to it. It's very awkward directorial decisions to make the action set pieces, and a lot of other choices in this movie as well feel very disorientated, where it's like the frame rate of the movie felt like it changes every 5 minutes. And I really didn't like that, because sometimes it's at normal speed, sometimes it's speeding up on horseback, then sometimes you're in slow motion, and sometimes you're doing a do scene, and you're just like, wait a minute, why can't we just have one singular motion for this movie? And we did not get it. And also, I understand this person is supposed to kind of like the sword versus spirit, about how he could maybe control the weather, talk to animals. I just don't feel the connection whatsoever on how he can do it. Like, okay, maybe they'll explain it in part 2 of how he's connected to this god or this religion. But there's a weird wolf scene. That's all I'm going to say. It is so awkwardly placed. You're just like, wait a minute. And there's also in the very beginning where these French people are coming in, like with the diamonds. It's like, oh, big elephant. Like, there's these very awkward moments in this movie where it did take me out hardcore, because I'm like, what are we trying to do? And the tonal shifts is something serious versus something comedic. And you're just like, I don't know what to think about this movie. Yeah, there were some funny moments where, like, okay, that's funny. but the overarching 2.5 hours is very disjointed. The dancing sequences or the songs, none of them were bad, except there's one in the market where we're rewatching this one girl, and you're like, okay, this is a very bad song. It's not choreographed good, and I did not have a good experience. There was one decent twist about the minute or the hour part in this movie, and I was like, oh, can it go somewhere? But I was just thinking, you know what? This is an Indian movie. They're not going to, make it something. They're going to say, oh, this twist was something to lead to something good. And it was. And they do that a lot in Indian movies where you have a twist, but the person that did the bad thing, they're the overarching message. They were doing it for good. It's like, some people aren't doing, there's not a Robin Hood in every culture. Not everyone's a freaking Robin Hood. So I understand that part. And like I said in the intro, the horses. Okay, I know at a point you probably know what your budget is. And I know for a fact you want to have a lot of these horse riding sequences. However, at a point, stop. It does not look good. The horses are sliding. The actors aren't bouncing to the rhythm of the horses. And when you have this one scene, especially where there's like a fire scene and the horses are coming from the foreground to the near ground, the horses are sliding on the ground. Like I said, I know you want to use this for, dramatic effects and things like that, but no, at a point, cut 15 minutes of the movie and don't have these horrible horse sequences that really took me out of the movie. Also, there's one on a mountain with a big boulder and more horses, and this guy's hanging. Like I said, there's a lot of stuff in this movie where I didn't know it was trying to be a realistic action movie or be a fantasy. Because then after that, you have that wolf scene where I just was like, what are we doing? There was a lot of points in this movie where I was like, where are we going? What are we trying to prove? And how is this pushing this story forward? Because we kind of got that the last fight sequence leading to like a tornado scene. Like I said, it was all over the place. And I understand where the movie's going to go with this religion aspect of like Islam versus Hindu. I know it's not Hindu. I'm saying that wrong. Oh no, I was right. Hinduism. I'm a freaking idiot. Which I just looked at a map in India. Hinduism is 79%. Islam is 14%. Christianity is 2.3%. There's other stuff other than that. So it's a very actually interesting aspect of like the Hindu, Islam, and Christianity. It looks like Islam is more in the northern region. So, like I said, that actually matches with the map of this movie of what it's trying to go for. But overall, part one, if I'm going to say this movie correctly, I'm going to try to do it right because I suck at pronunciations. You can sue me. I don't care. Hara Veera Mallu, part one. I understand what it's going for, and it does say it's the first Indian defining the Mughal Empire. So I don't know if this is supposed to be based on a true-esque story, but having him talking to wolves, horses, and other animals in this movie, and then having this tornado storm, then also having this weird I don't know. It was convoluted, way too many characters, way too many random story arcs, especially this one girl was just like in the middle of a fight basically saying, what are we doing? Like, just so many weird director choices with the speeding up the camera, slowing up the frame rate, etc., etc. It's hard for me to recommend this as a Westerner. Maybe people in India will like it a lot more, but me and the other 8 people in this movie, I didn't feel they were really enjoying it as much as well. So Hara Veera Mallu, if I'm saying this correctly, part 1 will receive a 2 out of 5 with Futons, which equals that 40%. Let's see the critics' news scores gave this one. So it looks like we have nothing for the critics. Audience score, we're having an 80%. So it looks like I might be the minority for this one. 80% and 40. Chase out here at the Blue Futon. Like, comment, subscribe. I'm really Booftopia. You Booftonians. Thank you for watching. Have a great day. I don't care if you watch this today, tomorrow, a week from now, a month, and a year from now. I love every single freaking one of you. Peace and love. Peace and love. And am I just not understanding the story? Let me know down below.